This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Joe Gallagher on the phone. Joe, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you, Anne?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good in and amongst the madness and the chaos that is going on in the world at the minute. How are you exactly finding things and life?
Yeah, obviously there's no gym. That's hard. But like I say, it's a good opportunity to make the most of your time, spend quality time with family, and that's it. And rest, recharge the batteries, and look about how to come back, and the lads, and still working at home, studying, and looking at making sure that when we come back, the lads are all ready to go.
How has it changed your training perspectives, and how exactly you guys are working around the current situation?
Well, like you say, there's no gymnasium, so the lads and Natasha have to do their work. They, as you know, they've said that one form of exercise leaves the house a day, so whether they go out and they do it with a run or with a bike ride or a long walk, or do fartleks where it's a run and then some type of exercise, come home, do the groundwork, shadow boxing, all that type of work, and that's all they've got to do. And it's very hard for them because the social distancing, but it's even harder. Some found it a problem keeping the fingers out of the fridge, and it's got to be even worse now, the social distancing, and they're stuck at home. So that's the big thing, that they keep the weight under control.
I know there's been nothing like this in the past, but has there been anything that has made yourself or the team kind of have to stop training? Any kind of past experiences which you can kind of compare to what's going on at the minute?
No, not at all. No, I don't know whether bird flu was something years ago, but yeah. No, I think boxers, sometimes, because it's a solo sport, or like you said, they can go out, and like I always say to the fighters, the road is always open, so they can get out there. But no, I can never remember a time like this. It's quite a unique time, and that's something we'll look back at in six months, 6 years, and it's an interesting time at the moment, and listening and watching and seeing social media and how it's being used for great ways and communication and everything else, and it really is.
Obviously, you've got a stacked gym and a lot of fighters who are all, preparing for certain fights or waiting for news to come out about fights, so just to try and work for everyone. And starting off with, obviously, Callum Smith. Callum was waiting to see whether or not he was going to get that Canelo fight, and then it was all by all accounts signed for by Billy Joe and Canelo, and they was just waiting for the official announcement, press conference to formally launch it.
I don't know whether it was signed, Andy. I don't think it was signed, mate. I'm not sure on that one. So we'll see. But like you say, it was due to be announced and everything. But like I say, Callum Smith, he was in the gym, he was training, he was looking forward to getting the fight. He didn't, and like I say, it was all going into Billy Joe. Now, obviously, what Billy Joe has happened with Billy Joe now, and his license suspended. You don't know whether he'll now Canelo go straight into the Triple G fight. But I wouldn't say the Callum Smith fight with Canelo is dead in the water yet.
I mean, just on the Billy Joe Canelo fight, when we was expecting the announcement, and like I say, a lot of people thought that it was ready just to be announced, that something had been agreed. What was yours and Callum's initial reaction to finding out that Billy Joe seemed to have got the fight?
A bit disappointed, because from what we understood, and obviously with everyone also assuring me and shaking hands, obviously, that it won't push for the Callum. From what I understand, Golden Boy agreed, Callum Smith, they were happy with the purse and everything else. It turned out then that it came from Canelo's side, that they didn't want the Callum Smith fight. So that was a bit of disappointing. We were nearly there, but not there. So Callum knows himself. I think because of what happened in the negotiation, Callum knows himself now that for all the talk, Canelo never really wanted to fight Callum Smith. It was nothing to do with money. Callum never priced himself out of anything at all. And he chose to hit Billy Joe. So it was disappointing, really, because obviously we've been there with Liam up against Canelo, and any trainer's got to back their own fighter. But I was hugely confident on Callum Smith beating Canelo. But like you say, now he's got to see what happens now over these next few months, and see what happens. And interesting times ahead.
I mean, there was obviously, there was some rumours floating about that Canelo was looking to face Triple G in a trilogy fight in September. This would have obviously been if he was to have fought Billy Joe or Callum in May. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that maybe Canelo will still move towards a Golovkin fight in September, or do you think he would look to honour some type of agreement he may have had in place with Billy Joe?
I think so. I do think he'll go straight into the Triple G fight now. I think that'll be the fight, and then after that, it all depends what with Billy Joe and what the WBO and what the British Border controls. So I think while that's going on, I think they'll be driven straight into the Triple G fight. I know Triple G has a mandatory on him, so they have to sort that or pay him step aside or whatever. I think he must go straight into the Triple G fight.
Where does this leave Callum? What types of names have you guys been discussing since then? I mean, that's another thing. Obviously, you're in the capacity of trainer, manager, you've and promoter now. You've obviously mixed in all three. How has it kind of changed your perspectives and the way that you can work all of those roles? Because obviously as a trainer you can't really do anything with the guys at the minute, but as a promoter or a manager, what can you still do? Can you still make fights? Can you still have discussions with other promoters out there or other managers? How has it all kind of changed the landscape with regards to that?
It's hard at times because sometimes there's meetings and you're in the gym and you're training lads. You can't always be at all the meetings all the time or rearrange them and phone calls. So at this moment in time, like you say, everyone's on the end of a phone, everyone's at the end of a video call, and lots of stuff can be spoken about, and lots of fights can be proposed, discussed, and different options for the fighters in the stable. So like you say, there's work being done, and looking forward to it when this clears up and everyone returns back to work healthy, and that there'll be stuff for the fighters. As far as Callum Smith's concerned, I spoke to him the other day. Nothing's really much happening. Nothing's been really discussed with him. So I'm just waiting to see what Eddie Hearn has for him, and we'll take it from there.
One thing I did see, just on Callum once more, I don't know whether it was true or not, but I saw some rumours floating that DAZN were kind of keen and looking to push for Callum to get the fight against Canelo and for that to take place in the UK. Do you know anything about that? Can you shed any light on it?
No, like I say, my dealings with John Skipper last year when I spoke to him, he made it absolutely known that he wanted Callum Smith as a DAZN fighter. He'd love to bring DAZN to the UK and Callum Smith fight in the UK, and Callum Smith and a Canelo fight was one that they'd love to try and put together. So that's what he told me at the time, and if that's what's come out now, and from what I read, he flew over to Canelo to have a private meeting with him, whether it's true or not, to try and get Canelo over here. So fair play to John Skipper, who was true to his words, if that was the case.